Hello, thank you for clicking on my channel. I'm Dami. The time is currently 3:39. I'm waiting for it to be 3:40, but it's 3:39 and I am going to be doing a reading vlog. I'm currently reading Paper Names by Cece Liu. This was a book I got from Book of the Month, and this is like the first time I will be reading something from their pick, which I want to see how better their books actually are. So it'll be fun. It doesn't look so much. It looks like it's almost 300 pages, and I read the first chapter on the bathroom this morning, and I thought I don't really have much to do today. The only thing I'm doing today is that really exerts my whatever is I'm going to see The Little Mermaid at like 8 p.m. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 hours. But by like 6, 7, I have to stop reading to do some other stuff like cook, take a shower, and everything. So with that being said, I'm going to start reading this book, and I am a bit excited to see what happens. So from like off the jump, it's like 3 different POVs, which I really, really enjoy when a book does that. I read the first POV, the second chapter, the second POV, and I think I'm going to like, get into it a bit more and then come back and kind of like give like a, starter feel and see if I really want to continue this book. But, and also I just love the cover. Like just everything about this book just looks amazing. So this will be exciting, and I'm excited to see how this goes. Hello, so it's been an hour and I'm invested. Now, I only stopped reading because I just realized that the book is going through linear timelines. So we started in 1997 and now it's 2014, and I just wanted to come and give a little update. So I've read from 3 different point of views: Tony, Tammy, and Oliver. Oliver is a white lawyer. He's in his late 20s, 26. He works at a building. Well, he lives in a building that Tony works at. Tony is a Chinese immigrant who is like, he has his foundation in electrical engineering, but obviously moving to the US, he has to, work from the ground up. So he's currently a doorman at the building that Tony lives at. Tammy is Tony's daughter. Sorry, at the building that Oliver lives at. Tammy is Tony's daughter. Now, something interesting happens because in the beginning of the book, you see that Tony and his daughter are in a bit of like there's like some weird vibes going around. So when I finally get to Tammy's point of view, what happens is he hits her. And it's not as mundane because it's a bit of a serious conversation, but basically, because Tammy has more of her speech development and English in the US, her English is a lot better than her parents because her parents have an accent, right? So Tammy's in the bathroom and she says the phone, is ringing, and her dad's calling her to pick up the phone so she can answer it and, see what's going on, basically. So she's hurrying to get from the bathroom to where the phone is, and it basically gets sent to voicemail. So the answering machine picks up the phone and no one leaves a message. And the dad gets upset. He's like, what if it was, a potential job or like an interview that I did in the past? Like, why didn't you hurry? And she basically says, you didn't pick up the phone because you have a funny accent, and he slaps her across the face, and she runs to her room and she starts crying, which fair enough, it happens. So far, I really enjoy the characters. I enjoy how I'm kind of seeing how, you're not really seeing how they are adjusting to living in the US. They basically adjusted, but they have some certain rules in place. So for example, Tony's wife gives him mug money, which actually, and it's funny, I've started like highlighting some fun phrases in the book so far, but basically she gives him mug money because since he moved there, every time he goes out or he's like at work or at lunch or something, he gets mugged by either kids or just different people. So she gives him like $20, $35, $50, whatever, just so he could start up trouble. The first time he got mugged was also his first time, on account with the police, because he got mugged in the rain and he got beaten down. So he was in the rain and the police just thought something else. And ever since then, he was like, I can't fuck with the police. Now, what happens is he's at work this day, and one of the residents, who is like a old Hollywood star, is going out and she gets mugged. So he goes to her rescue and he beats the mugger up basically, and she's beaten up real bad, her nose, her eyes, and he's, badly shapen as well. So they go to the hospital, and now there's been some sort of like fame that he's kind of experiencing on the television. So he's having to go for like an interview with Vanity Fair, and she invites him to like a party in her penthouse, and through there as well, Tammy, his daughter, is also, just learning how to play the piano through Oliver. Which there's something weird going on, but I don't want to speculate. But so for context, she plays the piano already at home, but she doesn't really have good teaching. Only her dad has been teaching her. Oliver is like a Harvard graduate, and he has like a lot of like training from Juilliard teachers and whatever because his parents are rich. Which we will get into Oliver's story later. So he's teaching Tammy, Oliver is teaching Tammy how to play the piano. And for context, she's 9 years old in 1997. She's 9 years old. And I don't want to say, but it looks like he's falling for her in a weird way, because he's talked about in the past about like he had one girlfriend, and then after a year, she wanted to get very serious. So he broke it up. He has a current girlfriend, and he's not really sure if she's trying to get serious, and he's trying to like, he's being cautious. But here he's like referring to this 9-year-old girl, unless I'm mistaken, and she's not 9 years old. But I mean, she is, because she's taking Kumon and she's taking extra lessons, so she's 9 years old. Basically, he's like, she's not like any of them, like the rest of them. He's just giving weird compliments. And again, I'm not speculating. I think I have to come back and see what's going on. But that's the book so far. I'm enjoying it. What's the time? It's 5:21. So I have a couple more minutes till 6 till I have to go do some other things. And yeah, we'll see what we get with this. But yeah, so far I'm invested. However, I will say what I thought was happening in the beginning, that I thought would be the driving force of the book, like the whole plot, is not really what's going on. So it's interesting to see that, maybe we're going to dive into something else. But yeah, so far so good. We'll see where this leads. All right, slight update. I'm like 100 and something pages in and still interested. So we started in 2014 with the daughter Tammy, and she's all grown up. She works at a law firm. However, she works at a law firm that Oliver used to work for, who, remember, I said, I'm not sure what their relationship is, because something happens where she references him and she's like, Oliver, my Oliver. She's trying to figure out what's going on, but she's grown up, she's in a relationship, and from what I can notice, she's not really having so much love and connection with how she grew up, because, starting in 1997, they live in a basement with, immigrant parents. They had just moved, and now she's older, she has like a rich boyfriend, and she's not really liking that he's referencing her past too much. So that's really interesting to see. And then we skip back to 1999, and then we're with Oliver again, who is from a rich family as well. And there's a scandal with his grandfather where he like lobbied and, basically, what's the word? He stole some money from his charity basically, so he's in jail, and he declined, because Oliver is a lawyer, he declined to basically support his grandfather's form for like, I guess like a sanity plea or something of that sort basically. So now Oliver is doing his own thing, he has his girlfriend, and 2 years later, he's still giving Tammy piano lessons. So now she's 11 in 1999, and still not sure what the relationship is, because he like leaves work early to like, put out tea and, bring out cookies so that they can, have their session. And like, it's pretty good, but I feel like I'm maybe just thinking too much. I don't want to think too much ahead. I don't want to like, maybe my mind is just a bit too, maybe it's nothing, but it just feels a bit weird. I don't know. I haven't, gotten anything from both of them. Like, I haven't read a scene with them together now that she's older, so I don't know. But like, it just feels odd. It feels very odd, and I'm a bit scared. But I'm still interested. It's very interesting. But something weird happens. So Oliver goes to Bali on vacation with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend had to leave earlier for work to go back to New York. So he saw a mutt, like a mixed breed dog, in Bali. And basically, they take him in, and his girlfriend's like, oh my God, we should bring her back to New York. So they file the forms and everything. And mind you, while he's in Bali, he has no connection. But like, a very interesting scene is he's on his way to the airport, and he suddenly gets like in a vicinity where there's cell service, and all like the texts and emails from work and family come in. And while he's leaving to enter the airport, he leaves the dog in the taxi, and he pays the taxi driver like $600 to take the dog. And like, you can see the dog like trying to get out, because the dog and him have bonded over the past couple of days. And I was so hurt. and that's why I stopped. I'm gonna stop now because I have some things to do, and like I said, I'm seeing The Little Mermaid at 8 o'clock. However, I might have some free time to, still read through some chapters before I have to leave. But so far, so good. It's really interesting. Only thing is, I don't know where this book is headed because it started somewhere, and now because they are mixing timelines, I'm not confused, but I'm like, I wonder where we are headed with this story. I'm still interested though. I'm interested in these characters and their stories, and I really want to know what's happening between Tammy and Oliver, if anything is happening at all. But that's it for now, and I'll see you guys later. Something interesting happened. So Tammy, it's 2002 now, just to keep track of the dates, and Tammy is talking about how she had to move from where she was before, which was like the basement place where her and her parents were staying, and they moved to like a better neighborhood, which had better schools, and that was just code from her parents, meaning whiter neighborhoods and like better opportunities, basically. And something interesting happens when she goes into class and she's trying to introduce herself. Well, the teacher is, and her name is Tian Fen, I believe. I probably butchered that, and I apologize. But and everyone starts laughing. Even the teacher's like, okay, what else can I call you? Because that's a mouthful. And she says, just call me Tammy. And I found that really interesting because when I had just moved here from Nigeria, the name on my birth certificate is Oluwadamilola. And people who are from Nigeria or just know the lingo or whatever know that that's just short for Dami, which is what I say. And then the people at work were like, okay, what else can we call you? That's a mouthful. We can't call you that. And then they just chose my middle name. Whatever. But I just found that really interesting. And yeah, I just wanted to put that in really quickly so I wouldn't forget. And remember when I started this book, I said the relationship that I felt between Oliver and Tammy was scaring me. Well, I was right to be scared because the book progressed and we went a couple years in the future where Tammy is actually in a relationship with herself and she's probably going to get married soon. And Oliver is a lot older. He's like in his 30s now. And in a very cute but weird way, they ran a marathon together that they had been prepping for like 5 months, and they had a very intimate moment where, so like I mentioned earlier as well, Oliver comes from a rich family and his grandfather like got arrested for fraud, and he never really shared that with anyone as well. So he then tells Tammy what happens, and they had a very intimate but weird moment where like she kisses him on the lip and then gives him like a kiss on his forehead, which is very intimate, a forehead kiss. And I'm a bit scared because I'm thinking, from the moment he said she's not like everyone else when she was 11, I'm like, okay, this is absurd, and here we are today. And but that aside, so far the book, I wouldn't say it's like, no plot, but it's just been driving on its own like a very independent machine. Every time we jump from all three characters, there's always something going on with them and some progress in their story, and looking back to their past, and it's very interesting. However, I will say, most interestingly, I've been very interested in the father, because the father's named Tony, because I just finished a chapter that was based in 1987, and it's before he married his wife, Tammy's mom, where he had to go back to the village, the countryside, to go ask his dad for help in asking his wife's parents for their hand in marriage, which is the tradition of how it was done then. And he had a very interesting conversation with his dad, where his dad basically said that like from the moment he was born, he didn't really think his child was for anything except the village, but he keeps proving him wrong. And he then asked his son like, what exactly do you want out of life? Because every time the son came home from like the city, it was like a new development, like he got a promotion at university, or he's developing something, or he's making more money. There was always something new with him. And his dad is like, what exactly do you want, or are you looking for out of life? Because you keep coming with good news. And the son didn't really have an answer. He was 24 at the time. He's like, maybe I'll create something. And his dad's like, well, you can't create anything in this country. And he's like, maybe I'll move to the US. And his dad is like, even if you move to the US, you will end up working under people, which is how Tony's life ended up, because he started as a doorman at the apartment complex. So just seeing the development in his in his life and how his relationship with his dad kind of reflects on his relationship with his daughter Tammy is very interesting. So far I will say his story has like held me the most, because it's a very true immigrant story. Oliver as a white man is probably like third on my tier list, and then Tammy, her story is pretty good. I will say though, I'm sensing, I mean, there's a very emotional part in the book that I don't want to spoil at all, but till I got to that part, I was just sensing that I was sensing that she was a very arrogant, you know, an arrogant daughter in a way, but it was just a privilege that her parents had fortunately set up for her. So it's good so far. I'm almost done, and I'm waiting to see if there's anything that's going to like kick me off my rockets. But yeah, it's a little update, and I will see when I'm done with the book. I just had a ding 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 moment. Cue the light bulb. But so on the blurb of this book, it says that like something happens, and Oliver, the white lawyer, becomes entangled in the family of this immigrant family, the life of this immigrant family forever. And I kept reading the book expecting something dramatic to happen. However, I think I've got it. So 200 pages in, almost done. I realized that like it was the incident that happened at the beginning of the book, like the first couple pages, just keeps Oliver in their lives. From when Oliver is teaching Tammy piano lessons, because Oliver helps Tammy get into law school, helps her get into Harvard and all that, and they go on like marathon races. She's working at the same law firm, and he's at a meeting, well, not a meeting, but he's basically at a meeting at a club with a potential clients, and he's talking about how the lavish spending is really just a waste of money, basically. And he makes a statement in his head where he's like, all this is pointless. He rather would be sharing takeout fries with Tammy in her office. And I'm wondering, is he going to probably ruin Tammy's potential relationship with her current partner and then just like, I don't know, usurp and be in a relationship? I'm so curious. And even though that might be oddly satisfying, maybe, I'm still like, you kind of groomed her because you've known her since she was 11. And he's probably maybe in his like 30s, early 40s now. I'm not sure. But I don't know. But I think I finally just got what the blurb meant by that. Very misleading, but good job, because I will say that this book does a really good job of keeping you engaged. I have not been for a second bored while reading this book. I've always wanted to be like, okay, what's going on? From the moment I woke up this morning, I was in the bathroom, like, okay, what really are we getting into here? And I'm still interested. I really care about this immigrant family and curious to see how Oliver may not, probably will, might ruin something, that's already budding in someone else's life. It's really good. Hi, it's a couple minutes to 12 a.m. I'm done with paper names. Where are my words? So I remember saying I don't know how Oliver's involvement in the lives of this family was going to be relevant. And shortly after I made that little video, like chapter later, I found out how. And nothing prepared me for the ending of this book. It's not so dramatic, but I would just say nothing prepared me. And I was on an amazing ride reading this book. And then I got towards the ending, and the ride just took like a completely different loop. And I don't know what to say. The ending sequence of this book that involves Tammy is probably the most beautiful thing, or one of the most beautiful things I've visualized, right? If you're really good at like visualizing things, the ending sequence that takes place, like it involves like, the process of like booking a flight, packing a bit hastily, sleeping, the nap or the sleep the night before your flight, getting to the airport, everything you do leading up to getting on the flight, and like the whole process of the whole routine. The way it was described in this book and the way I visualized it was just amazing, and I could imagine it being the best ending sequence, like a very good possible movie scenario, whatever. It was amazing. And the book then ends in 1987 with Tammy, whose name is Tana Fey. I might have pronounced it wrongly in the beginning of this vlog, but with Tammy's father, and he's still back in China. And you see the process of when he finally decides he wants to move to America and move his family to America for the sake of his daughter. And I think ending this book on the father's point of view was intentional and amazing. And it's going to make more sense when you read the book. I don't want to spoil key factors of this book, but this book is amazing. It's an amazing ride. You run through it so I remember when I started this book, I read the first 100 pages on this couch, like on the other go. It was just amazing. This book is delicious. If you read All My Read by Sabato Hair, you're going to enjoy this book. I don't know what to say. It's just amazing. I feel like I'm going to cry. It's just so beautiful. And I wish I read the mother's point of view, because I feel like she would have had an amazing story to tell as well. But fuck, man. This is really good. Like, I don't know what else to say. And just circling back to Oliver, I remember how much beef I had with him in the beginning, and my beef is justified. He's weird. However, if you want to picture Oliver well, picture like a very dignified, righteous, self-righteous, but dignified, self-righteous, morally grey, humble white man who also happens to have a conscience and is from a rich family. If you could picture that, you probably pictured Oliver well. But this book, I don't know what else I have to say. But this is an amazing book, and I'm gonna miss this book. Like, I'm really, really gonna miss this book. It's been an amazing 2 days, or 1 day, depending, or whatever. But yeah, that is it for this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I have read Paper Name, and this is actually my first read from, picking books from Book of the Month, and I'm going to keep like a scoreboard. I've enjoyed this literary fiction. I can't wait to get to the next one, which is actually right here, actually. I can't wait to get to the next one and see how long I will, enjoy the books that I pick from there. And yeah, if you enjoy watching this video, subscribe and come back for another one. And thank you. I've been Dummy. I'm going to go to bed now because it's almost the next day. And pick this book up. It's an amazing, comfortable, cozy read. I can imagine if you read this book like on a flight or on a drive or just like on a regular Saturday with nothing to do, you would run through this quickly and you would enjoy it, because like it's not so hectic, it's not so dramatic, but it's just easy to get through, and it's just so pleasant, and it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's simplistic writing as well. So